All right. How's everybody doing? If you haven't been here before, my name is Derek. I am the owner, creator, and head silicone slinger here at Amavidi, and we make silicone sculptures. Do I have? Oh, hang on a second. Had to get my water. Everybody, drink your water. All right. So, have I done my intro yet? I don't remember. We'll do that again. Hey everybody, my name is Derek and I am the owner, creator, and head silicone slinger here at Amavidi. Well, I just sounded like a radio announcer or something. But what we make are silicone sculptures. And so we're going to be doing that today. I've got a couple of customs to make. And so we'll go through those. Okay. Sorry, got to get my hair tied up. I got to get my gloves going. All right. Gotta get gloved up. Okay. So these are just cups left over from yesterday, actually. And it's always kind of fun to just peel these. It's just so satisfying. You get it, and it just all comes out in one piece. Like that. Always makes me giggle. And this is just silicone that was left over from pours we did yesterday. And yeah. So I'm a little disjointed today, just kind of distracted. I've got an event I've got to go to tonight, but I got to get these orders done. So yeah, let's put these. Oh, this didn't pull out. Okay. Let's try this one here. Maybe. There we go. All it was. That's just like the most satisfying part of it all. By the way, if you do have questions or anything about the process or anything you see you're curious about, let me know and drop them in the chat, and I will get to them as I can. All right, last two here. Nope, that didn't. If we can do this. Come on. There we go. Ah. Oh, you want to see something funny? I have my bucket of scraps. There we go. I'll show you. I've been collecting all of my leftover bits. I don't know what I'm going to do with them yet, but it's just this big pile of squish. Yep, I'm feeling like a dork today, so I have no idea how this session's going to go because my brain is all over the place, and we'll see if I can get it focused. Once I get pouring, then it gets focused because I got to pay attention then. All right, so we've got order number 086. So whenever anybody places a custom order, we try to do a live stream so that they can actually watch the process and see their sculpture being made. Yes, 086. So whenever we do the live stream, we announce the last 3 digits of the order number so that people can follow along. And if the last 3 digits of your order number is 086, then this one is for you. Okay. So, first one we're gonna do is, let's do a Strupala 0050. Scoop that off to the side. Make sure I got my cameras in here where it can be seen. And now this is an Aurora, so this is a 3-color pour. So we're gonna need 3 cups. We need our mold, and then we need our pigments. Okay, so in this one, this is an Aurora, so we're going to use black, teal, and purple. And yeah. That's what we're going to be doing. So, this is our mold. I'll make sure we get a little mold release on here. There we go. Now then, you'll have to forgive me for a moment because I need to get my silicone together. And it just takes me a moment, but my silicone is over here, and my cameras are over there. And one day, I will actually have my studio set up the way I want to. And I'll be able to do everything in front of the cameras, but at the moment, I can't. So we're going to do it this way. We do what we can with what we have. All right, so I've got part A and part B here, mixing in the cup. We're just going to mix and mix and mix. We want to make sure we get a good mix between part A and part B, because that's what causes the curing to happen. And if we have any bits that aren't fully cured, or I'm sorry, aren't completely mixed, then they may not cure properly. And nobody likes a gooey sculpture. Oh, I love the comments. I'm sorry. It makes me laugh. For some reason, sometimes people think that this is too spicy for TikTok. But all we're doing is mixing silicone and pouring it into a mold. We're making sculptures. Okay. Now then. Now this is all the silicone I need for this particular sculpture, but I need to section it off because I've got 3 colors and I've only got 1 cup here. So. There's 1. And there's 2. All right. So what we need to do is get our colors into our silicone. This is just a very basic black, although it's got just a little bit of an iridescence to it, just a little. It just gives it just a little bit of marbling. But in this case, what I really want it to do is give me definition between my purple and my teal. So there's the black. Oops. Get that around, get the black out of the way, get my cup here, and then now the teal does a really good job of marbling. I'll show you here in just a moment what it looks like. I need to get it mixed in really good. Now we already mixed up part A and part B, so we're not really worried about trying to mix the silicone in. What we're trying to do is just get the pigment to incorporate itself into the silicone. And so all I see are bubbles, so we're in good shape. One thing we don't want are clumps. We don't want any clumps in our pigment. And I do have some colors that like to clump up. And so I have to do some, well, I have to do some special things for those. I actually turn them into liquid pigments and blend them with a blender so that it doesn't clump up. Okay, now then, I'm getting ready to drop these into the vacuum chamber, so that'll give me a chance to get into the chat and see what's going on. If you have any questions, drop them in the chat, and I will answer them as I can. Pro tip, never leave your mixing sticks in the silicone when you vacuum it, even if it'll fit, because there's air in here and you end up drawing, it turns into a straw and the air goes out through the end of the mixing stick into the silicone, and now you're drawing, it's a big old mess. Well, it's not a big old mess, it's just a pain in the butt because it takes a really long time to vacuum. All right, vacuum chamber going on. Let's see. Vint has a question about how do I make my molds. I actually have a video on that on YouTube. If you hit the link in my bio, there's a link to my YouTube channel. It's toy making number 102. So if you search for 102 in you'll find it. It's like within the last 10 videos or so. But I actually go through the entire process of making my molds. Now, I think you might also be asking about how do I make my masters. And the masters are actually made from either 3D printed or hand carved from wax or clay. Lloyd asking, is it food grade? So that's actually an interesting question. So technically, Okay, so there's the world of silicone. And then within that world of silicone, there's platinum pure silicone. Platinum pure silicone is body safe and can also be used for food and even medical uses. The question of whether or not it's food grade, technically, platinum pure silicone is. But if you want to use something that is technically food grade, it has to go through a testing process and get certified as food grade. So while the larger world of platinum pure silicone very much likely is food grade, if you want it specifically for food and you want to make sure that it's food grade, there are specifically food grade silicones out there. Shaking and quivering in their boots, but why? A Breezy asking, how long does it take in the chamber? It varies depending on how much silicone there is, how aggressive I was about mixing it and whipping air into it. Like right now, everything is ready to pull out of the vacuum chamber except for one color, and it's still pulling a little bit of bubbles out of it. So maybe another 60 seconds. So I don't know, 3, 4, 5 minutes, depending. Vent asking, have I ever vacuumed it with the stick in there? Yes, I have. And that's how I figured out that it's the wrong thing to do. Hey, it's Shay saying, you can't imagine how hard it is to clean the blender. Well, I say blender. I use a stick mixer. It's kind of like one of those things that you use for making shakes or malts. I'm going to turn off the vacuum chamber. So actually it goes into a cup like this. We end up blending it with the hand blender. And actually the silicone, we use a silicone thinner, which is just pure silicone fluid, which doesn't have any hardeners or anything in it. It actually cleans up pretty well. Isopropyl alcohol, 99% isopropyl alcohol, cuts through silicone really well. Vent asking about eggs. I think the word you're thinking of is ovipositor. Let me get this out of the vacuum chamber real quick. And no, I don't do anything like that yet. I have some ideas of what I want to do, but the tricky part for me is I'm very fastidious about how things look, and I haven't figured out a way to do it that doesn't have a weird base to it. Even if I trimmed off that base, and it could just look a little weird. Anyway, it's something I've thought about, and I've actually worked on a little bit, but my experiments have been such that I'm not entirely happy with it. All right, so we've got our purple, and now we're putting our black right on top of that purple. Okay. And then the teal goes right on top of that black. So kind of what we're creating here is a bullseye. And I'll give you a look at it here in just a moment, kind of a close-up. I'll bring the camera in so you can see it. But the way that it's positioned in the cup has a huge impact on the way that it comes out of the cup. and goes into the mold. Now in this case, if you look right around the edge, you can see there's just a little bit of purple, then there's the black, and then there's the teal, right? And what we're going to see is that the teal will come out first, then the black, and then the purple. Let's see if I can get my camera moved around here for Twitch and YouTube. Scoot that off to the side. Get my other camera going. Video. 2x zoom. Into the camera. All right. I'm going to move Twitch or TikTok over a little bit. I think you'll be able to see it. There we go. Okay. Whew. Ready for the pour? Here we go. Oops, gotta turn this the right way. There we go. And those little micro movements are what create that marbling effect for us. Okay, and now I got a little bit of extra here, so I'm going to pour that off into a squishy mold. I think we got enough to make a footprint. Let's try that. There we go. Get that out of my way. All right, so back to here. And now I'm going to sign the base. And when I say I'm signing the base, it's kind of like signing your artwork, because each of my employees and me, we have our own way of doing that base art. And so we can actually tell who made something by seeing the base. It's also kind of a fingerprint, because the base is unique on every single piece. So I'm getting ready to pour another one here, and I'll show you. Pair them side by side, and you'll be able to see that they're very similar, but they're also unique. So, all right. So, questions, comments, feedback. Let me know in the chat. Is there? I haven't looked at. Wow, Twitch and YouTube are really quiet today. That's okay. So I'm going to set this off to the side. Now here's a pro tip for you. Always keep your cups with your mold. That way you can do troubleshooting later if you need to. You know, if it doesn't cure in the mold, but it cures in the cups, then you know that there was something wrong inside the mold. Now, if one color doesn't cure, but the others do, because I've got, I don't know if you can see it, I've got, 3 different colors here. And let's say the teal doesn't cure, well, then I know that there was something wrong with that pigment and caused cure inhibition. And I can also use these to test and make sure that the silicone is fully cured before I try to pull it out of the mold. All right. So that was the Strupala 0050 in Aurora. So, Yeah, reluctant matte. I noticed that and switched it. Yeah. For some reason, I lost my camera. There we go. Okay. Set that off to the side. Now then, give me a second to get my silicone together. And by the way, again, if you have any questions, drop them in the chat. I'm happy to answer them. All right, gotta get my part B in here. All right, just a second. Whew. Okay. So we got part A and part B. Let me get my camera out of the way. We got part A and part B here. Oh, people have also asked what color is, if I didn't add any pigment, what color is the silicone? Is it clear? Actually, it is not. Once silicone cures, raw silicone with no pigmentation in it, it's actually this color. It's this kind of milky off-white color. Slightly translucent, but it is not clear. And that actually plays into kind of the color theory that we have to deal with. When I say that these are sculptures and I call them works of art, you know, there is color theory that has to go into this because our base is not white. It's not clear. Because it's that milky off-white, it actually has an impact on the colors. And so when we're mixing and using lighter, less satch colors, we have to bump up the amount of pigment we use in order to compensate for the underlying color of the silicone. Okay. 90. I need 100 and yeah, I need 105 grams per. Okay. There's one color. There's a second color. I overfilled this one just a little bit, so we're gonna scooch a little bit back into the big cup here. So now that we got to get our pigments together, scooch that off to the side. And our first color, we're going to do, this is another Aurora. I was kind of surprised. This is actually for the same order. Person ordered 2 different models and 2 different firmnesses, but the same colorway. Because the Strupula is a 0050. The Saturnalia is in A10. So the Saturnalia is going to be a little bit firmer than the Strupula. All right. That scooched around. There we go. Get the black going. And it might look like I'm just throwing random amounts of pigment in here, but I've done this so many times. I know exactly how much it needs. Every once in a while I have to go back and add a little extra, but yeah. I can eyeball a gram of pigment pretty easily now. That's another question that sometimes gets asked. How do I know how much pigment to use? The baseline, I start off with about 1 gram of pigment per 100 grams of silicone. So in this case, each one of these is about 105, 110 grams of silicone. And I just used the wrong color in this one. Ah! I'm an idiot. All right. Well, I'm committed at this point. That's what I get for talking and mixing. Now, I'm going to switch this up. I mean, it's going to be pretty anyway. So I'm going to put the black in between the 2 teals. And so we're going to get a really interesting marbling there. So let's get this in the vacuum chamber. I'm going to switch molds and answer questions. So get your questions in the chat. I'm going to switch this out for, this one's called a parabolica. It's about the same volume as the Saturnalia, so it'll be a pretty close match. All right, so questions, throw them in the chat. This is not real asks, can I make white or is it limited to this color? No, actually my white, this white pigment here is really strong. It's the reason why I use it. And I could get I say it's white. It's very slightly pearl. It's like a pearl white as opposed to a pure white. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, kind of, little bit. I mean, it's you can kind of tell what shape it is, but that's all you get. If I show too much, well, it gets too spicy. Nance, yes. Talking, mixing, and screwing it all up. Uh, all right, so Nance, was it Nance? How did I get into this business? It's kind of a long, circuitous, that's the word I'm looking for. Long, circuitous route. Way back in my early days, I worked for a fine jeweler, and we actually did custom work exclusively. So we started with raw materials and built up from there. And in doing that, we often had to create molds. Well, we used silicone back then as well. So that was my first experience working with silicone. Now, fast forward, because I had several different jobs between then and now, but fast forward a bit, and I was using silicone to make resin molds. And this is going back about 6-7 years. And because I was using that silicone and we were making resin, and I was looking at the silicone thinking, well, what else can I use this for? And in my research, I came up with this. And then I started kind of experimenting with it a little bit. And at that point, it was totally just me having a creative outlet, a way for me to play with wax and molds and 3D modeling and all of these kinds of things. And it was a way for me to just kind of play and be creative. And eventually I started kind of showing them to people, and they were very interested. And eventually they started to want to buy them. And so I started selling them. And then, as happens, my hobby became my business. And so I've been doing this for about 4 years now. Kitty Cat asking, where do I buy my molds? I do not buy my molds. I make them. I start from scratch, either from a 3D model that's 3D printed, and I do all the 3D modeling myself, or I hand carve my masters. Like the Parabolica is actually hand carved. The Scrupula is 3D printed. So I make all of my own molds. Kaufman asking, what do my molds need to be made of? They have to be platinum pure silicone, pretty much. I say that. I do know people who 3D print their molds, and then from there they let me get my vacuum chamber. I do know people who 3D print their molds, but for me, all of my molds are made from the same material as the sculptures themselves. So it's the exact same silicone, just modified so that it can be, painted up onto vertical surfaces. Because I make glove molds, I don't do block molds. I'll show you. This is actually the same. This is a Parabolica as well, but it uses a ton of silicone to make a block mold. To make a glove mold, hardly any. Okay, so let's get the ball rolling here so I can get my screw up fixed. We're just going to add the black on top of the teal. Now this one, I'm going to be a little bit weird on this one, because what I'm going to do, I'm not going to create a bullseye. So I have my teal, then my black directly on top of that, kind of creating a bullseye. But from here, I'm going to go for a little bit more random shape and see what that does. Actually, not so random. It's kind of a Z shape. Anyway, all right, let's get this moved around, get this in front of the cameras. Right back here. Make sure TikTok can see everything. Okay. So let's get this show on the road here. Now this one has an S curve to it, which I need to turn this a little bit so I can. And the bottom of the mold has a weird kind of narrowing to it. And so I need to give it a little pinch to open it up. And then I can start my pour. Yeah, I'm not going to have enough for a squishy on this one, but it doesn't matter because this is not for a customer. This one will just go into inventory. It'll eventually get listed on the website. And like I said, it's almost exactly the same volume as the Saturnalia. Okay. Let's see here. I'm gonna grab some of this black here and just get it right there on top. Okay, there we go. Gotta fill it up all the way. There we go. Whew. Barb asking, how do I make my molds? I make glove molds, so if you Google that, you'll find out. But I also do have a YouTube channel. There is a Toy Making 102 video. That's my glove making video. And from there, you can actually see, I go through the entire process of making those molds. Rodney asking, what does the finished product look like? Well, there's a link in my bio. You can hit that. It's amavidi.com/TikTok. And from there, you can get to my Twitter, my Instagram, my web store, and you can find all the things that you want to find there. And then somebody's asking, what are we making? Say it together, everybody. We're making silicone sculptures. What is that? User 7504, blah, 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 blah. Do I vacuum after I pour it in the mold? No, I do not. Because, number one, I vacuum before I pour, and the way that I pour minimizes the trapping of any air. If you just dump it in there, then you can trap air. But if you pour in a very thin stream, then it doesn't trap any air. All right, so give me a second to get my gloves back on. There's two gloves. I got two hands, I need two gloves, right? Neva asking, how long does it take to make one? The actual pouring process takes about 10 to 15 minutes. The cure time is about an hour and a half. So somewhere between an hour and a half and 2 hours. Okay, I need to take a second, get my cups cleaned out. And again, I'm just using 99% isopropyl alcohol to get any bits of dust or anything else that might be lurking about. And it's good, just good sanitary procedure. Workspace a bit. Okay. So we're gonna do this again. This is gonna be the Saturnalia Aurora. Get her going. What is this? I need 35 grams. By the way, this is a good time to ask questions, everybody. So it'll take me a moment. All I gotta do is get my part B in here and then I can be back at it. Okay. I'm working for my money today. It's kind of hot. It's kind of sticky. Actually, I'm the only one here. I can keep the door open. All right, so I'm just mixing it like crazy, and all I'm going to do is get part A, part B. I'm not worried about whipping any air into it or having bubbles or anything at this point, because I'm going to vacuum all of that out here in just a moment. Okay. And I need 105 grams of each color. All right, almost there. There we go. I over-poured this one just a little bit, so we'll scooch a little back. Now then, we're going to do this the way that is going to force me to do it correctly. The purple has to go in the big cup because it needs to be on the bottom of the mix. I say on the bottom of the mix. When I combine all these back into this cup, I need the purple to be on the bottom. So let's check the chat. Anything going on? Kaufman in Texas asking, can you send me a mold? You know, I've never had anybody ask me that. It's an interesting question, but I foresee problems just because I don't know what the mold looks like. And I don't want to make any guarantees about something that, you know, I don't even know the parameters of. I never showed you the purple. Did I ever show you the purple? I don't know if I ever did. There's that purple. Like it's got this blue iridescent undertone. I almost did it again. All right. There we go. And I'll show you this teal here in just a moment. Candy red. Saying it's all too funny. Well, you know, it's a fun job, but it's still a job. Does anybody know who I'm quoting on that one? Reach back into your memories. Go back to like the 1990s. Rap. It's a fun job, but it's still a job. Anybody know? Come on, put it in the chat. All right, we're going to vacuum this one out. And this is going to be the last one of the day, so whew. That'll give me a chance to take a break before I got to go do my thing tonight. No! Cypress Hill, rap superstar. Circa 1995, 97, something like that. Christopher says he's born in '89. I was not. I was born well before that. Asking if there's going to be anything ready to pull by the time I'm done. No, there will not be. And I have to admit, and maybe I'm going to lose like half of my watchers right now. I can't do demolds on TikTok. It's too spicy. And either I get shut down or I get suspended or the videos get taken down. So I just don't do demolds. If you want to see the finished product, you can find it on the website. The particular colorways that we're doing today are called Aurora. And any of the customs that we do can be done in that Aurora colorway. Okie Erican. Okie? Does that mean you're in Oklahoma? I'm in Oklahoma. Okay, here's a question. Because I've been hearing that TikTok is becoming more regional. That is that, here I'm in Oklahoma, and so it's going to be, TikTok is going to push my stuff out to people who are in the Midwest more. So let me know where you are. I'm really curious to find out if that's actually the case. It looks like we got somebody from Oklahoma in here anyway. We got Florida, Alaska. Okay, so, I mean, right there, we just covered the entire United States. Nevada, Virginia, Louisiana, Minnesota. I got some friends up in Minnesota. I think I've been to Minneapolis once. I may have just been flying through though. All right, just a minute more. Rhode Island. Mississippi, Iowa, California. I used to live in California. I lived in LA and San Diego. LA, I lived in North Hollywood, which, if you remember, well, okay. If you were born prior to 1980, it'd probably be a good time, maybe. But anyway, if you remember back in, I think it was the early 90s, there was this huge shootout. There was a bank robbery, and these guys who were robbing the bank were dressed head to toe in body armor and fully automatic weapons, everything. And it was one of those occasions where the police didn't have the capability to take them down because their guns just weren't strong enough to take down, to go through the body armor. So they actually had to go to pawn shops around the area to get high-power weapons in order to take down the bank robbers. And I mean, there were thousands of rounds shot in this whole thing. Anyway, it's called the North Hollywood Shootout. You might look it up. It was super interesting at the time, but, well, that was some time ago. Anyway, North Hollywood was where I lived. I didn't live there during the shootout, though. North Hollywood is actually where it's where Warner Brothers is, Burbank. Yeah, anyway. All right, I'm getting this done the correct way this time. Okay, let's get our mold in place. Camera is in place. Camera turned on. There's a couple folks out there who do remember that. Yep. Okay, let's get this poured. And somebody did confirm that the items on my website are spicy. Okay. So we're going to go straight down the middle. We don't want to hit the sides as we're going down. That'll break up any marbling that we create. We just want to give it little micro movements all along the way here. We can get it to fold on itself. It creates really pretty marbling. Okay. And I've got some extra here. It's going to go into the squishy mold. All right, so as I'm wrapping this up, do you have questions, comments, feedback? What do you think? Is it art or is it too spicy? Oops. Off the camera. There we go. Get this back over here. We're going to sign the artwork. Done. Okay, now earlier, I mentioned that the base often acts as kind of a fingerprint. I'm going to show you these two. These are both Auroras. So it's the same colors, same pour pattern, everything. But you can see they have similar but very different bases. And so they're just like fingerprints. Every one of them is unique. Somebody asking about the website. Hit the link in the bio. Link in the bio will take you to my web store, Etsy, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube, Patreon, all the things. Where do I purchase my, what is it? Where do I purchase my silicone and pigments or powders? And then somebody else was asking, okay, that was it. Smooth-On is a great brand to get started with. And I think that Reynolds Advanced Materials is the main distributor for Smooth-On in the United States. They've got a bunch of different locations across the country. You can probably get next day shipping from just about anywhere. And as far as where do I get my pigments from? The vast majority of them come from TKB Trading. Oops, there we go. TKB Trading. They make it real easy to find body-safe pigments, which not all pigments are body-safe, so do keep that in mind. Morism. I don't know. Asking, is this resin? No, this is silicone. All right. Anything else? You got questions, I got answers, but you have to go first for this to work out right. Shannon asking, what are we making? We're making silicone sculptures. You know what? I need to move my laptop over here so I can see it. I can't see anything on this camera. That's actually my phone, or one of my phones, and I can't see anything on it, so I have to run back over to my laptop. I need to move my laptop up here. Ooh, what is my favorite color combination? My favorite, I tend to go dark. That's just my aesthetic. There's one called a Dorian Gray, which is silver and red, and it's a really intense red against a almost antique silver, and it's just gorgeous. It's called the Dorian Gray. So any of the customs, if you go to the website and you look up the customs, any of them can be done in the Dorian Gray, and that's one of my favorites. Okay. Twitch, YouTube, you got anything? I don't know. All right. Well then, if there's nothing else, I'm going to bail. And I'm not going to do the hard sell. Subscribe if you like, follow if you like, hit the YouTube, hit the Twitch, whatever. I don't care. I do this for fun, but if you enjoyed it, then maybe you want to do those things on those things because you'll see more of it. But yeah, do all the things with the stuff and we'll be friends. How's that? All right, and with that, I'll say it's been real and it's been fun. So it's been real fun. Have a good night, everybody. Bye. All right. TikTok. How do I? Is this do this? How do I get rid of TikTok? Close TikTok. In. There we go. All right, Twitch, YouTube, you've got me all to yourself. You have any questions for me? If so, get them in the chat. I will answer them. I know that TikTok is gone. We can be a little bit more direct about things. All right. Well then, we'll call it done and we'll do it again sometime. Bye!